Right. Hello and welcome to God's Will Fall. So, we're carrying on from last time. If you remember, we are, we're on our third run through now. And having difficulties. Yes, so, we're having difficulties with I think it was Ogmios, the final boss. He seems to be the linchpin. A bit of, the bogey boss that I'm having trouble with, yeah. Ogmios up there. So, we're yet to complete a dungeon. We sent Brittany in here, who felt really up for it, and turns out she's too fat to jump across a gap. So, all I'm saying is, whenever they say, oh, well, you can put on weight and you don't have to be fit and so on and so forth these days, just remember the fate of Brittany. Got fat, fell in a hole. Right, joking aside though, right, we're going to have to pick someone to send in here. So we can send someone we've got 9 vitality here, that might be a good shout. Or I believe we've got some different skills here, so this is heavy attacks heavy attacks have a chance to stun, yes. We don't use many heavy attacks. Increased damage when below half, might be a good shout. Let me get that mouse curse out of the way. Don't know why it's there, for all honesty, but it is for some reason. Anyway, we've got nothing to give them. Okay, we've got a bonus. So vigor is not at 9; it will now be at 11. She wants to fight to get home to see her assuming husband. But yeah. Here we go then. Oh, I hate that. The thing is, I hate the rock throw that they do. But at the same time, I do it every single time I enter a fight. And we may as well be using these forges as we go. It can only get better at the moment. And same as last time, alright, there we go, we've got a proper spear now. If we find ourselves getting a tier 3 weapon, I would at that point call it quits. We'll leave that there because I'm going to use this. I think that from my experience so far, it's more likely to dull than get better. But there we go, we've got a tier 3 weapon. I suppose if you really wanted to cheese this, what you could actually do, though you'd have to be very confident in your ability to beat this without any problems, because you'd be pushing it to the wire. But what you could theoretically do would be to use each of the forges with each character, right? So you would use each forge with each character, get their weapon leveled up a bit, and then that did not do much. Ow. That way they'd each get, most likely they'd probably come out with at least a level 2 weapon, but possibly even better. And just before they get to the end, just throw them off the edge. So that way, you would get each character level up their weapon. They would then die. Then you just have to beat it at the very end. Very nice. Is it briefer? Aye, briefer. Right. So, as I was mentioning though, you could, by doing that, actually cheese it. But the problem is, if you didn't make it through with that final character, you just missed a jump or didn't quite beat the boss or whatever, you would die, and everyone would die. And you'd feel really bad about it. Now, careful. But yeah, I think when I've been playing this, I would say I could identify 4 issues, I would say, that are holding this game back massively. You know, this could honestly have been like the next roguelike indie game sensation, but I would say that, yeah, there's about 4 issues, big fundamental flaws in the game that really, really hold it back. In fact, one of them might not be as bad, but the first thing I would say is like there's very little purpose. Oh, bit of story there. But anyway, the things that are missing. So, firstly, I would say that just a very simple thing. I'm going through these dungeons. Now I've been through a few times, I know where I'm heading. But honestly, I would make them procedurally generated. And not only that... Ow. Not only would I make them procedurally generated, but I think one of the issues is that I don't have a map. That is a big issue I've got with it at the moment. I just don't have access to a map. Ooh, that was a bit dicey, that. Might have done it a few millimeters too early. Never mind. But yeah, I'm travelling around here. I do not have a map. And it just makes navigation more difficult. Once you've been in a few times, you know where you're going, it's fine, but... but until then, you're kind of a bit lost. If you were to make it procedurally generated, which I honestly would, it gets even worse. And why would I make it procedurally generated? Well, I look at it at the moment. This game, you couldn't call it a roguelike. It kind of... You can see there's a lot of things there that you could compare it with other roguelikes, but it is not one. Roguelikes kind of have 3 pillars. There's the mechanics revolving around death, usually permanent death or some kind of Dark Souls-esque thing where you get reset a certain amount of the way or whatever. So you'll have some kind of death mechanic that's outside the norm of just go back to checkpoint or the last save or whatever. The second is the procedural generation. You're going to be replaying these games a lot, so you need the levels to stay fresh. And thirdly is meta progression, which this has basically nothing in the way of. So it's missing 2 of these pillars, so you couldn't call it that sort of game, but I would put into it, like I said, procedural generation. You do replay it a lot. If they're going to make you replay the game, then you need to make the game replayable. You need it to be fun to play it again. It shouldn't be the same over and over until you get bored. The game should shift and change between runs. Following that, I would then say that, yeah, you need some meta progression. It doesn't have to be a lot, but a little would go a long way here, I think. Nearly at the end now. With just the boss to beat. Not too difficult, this one. Dodge past the attack, get round the sides, beat the snot out of them. Dodge little wave abilities that come in. Dodge, no, didn't quite make it. Ow. Ow. Right, here comes the aerial attack. Got him. There we go. I want to use my enrage. There we go. So yeah, if he attacks with one wing, you dodge to the other side. Try to get under the feet, and you'll just beat the snot out of them. Ooh. Big bit this, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, so if he attacks from the... actually, I got round that one as well. But usually if he attacks right, you dodge right. If he attacks left, you dodge left. So that you're at the opposite side of the wing that's attacking. That's all you have to do. Dodge these. Again, actually one of the better boss fights, this, I feel. Because the rules are more solid. You know exactly what you have to do. It's more mechanical. Ow. Not always perfect. I think I might need to get closer here to make the dodging a bit. Oh, there we go. Got around him. But yeah. So I know that if I'm... Ow. Yeah, that stun knocked me into a second attack then. You can also kind of dodge under them. It wouldn't surprise me if in a little while I can perfect that. Like the rules in this boss fight are very much... they're very solid. You know, so... Gotcha. It's very solid, you know, kind of carved in stone rules and mechanics on that one. So it's very easy to figure your way around it. Ah, we've got a berserker. Oh, +3 strength. Wow. Wow. Okay. And everyone's getting bonuses to health. Very nice to see. We've got some gauntlets we can give out. Who can use them? Oifer and Carden. We'll give them Oifer. Yeah, so one thing I would say, procedural generation, and you need a minimap. So that's first two gripes. The next thing I would say is it lacks any and all meta progression, which is a huge deal. Right? If you're gonna make me redo it like a roguelike, then you're gonna have to give me some meta progression. And this kind of ties into my third gripe, which is the lack of loot. You've got these giant expansive dungeons that are labyrinthine in certain areas, and it would make sense if those dungeons is Briefer here, she's on 7 starting vigour. I won't want to send her in unless I've got one of those items that gives me bonus vigour. What I'm actually considering here is, could I get her 2 or 3 of those, spam them, buff her vigour to like 11 or 12 or so, right? And send her in against, what's his name, Ogmios. With maybe a shield or something. That could be a really, really solid shout. In the meantime, Brittany's taken a blow to vigour, and she got Fear of the Dark on her story, I assume. It's not letting me. There we go. Grudge against my Fear of the Dark. Yes. So she I think it gives this to your first warrior to get lost no matter what. So if we put her in, she will in fact yeah, if we send her in, she will come out way stronger and more powerful. Briefer, however, will not. Briefer will go through the Berserker event chain where she does really well against this boss, but is then in a horrible state for the boss that comes after. So she'll be in an absolutely horrendous state for that. But as we get through this dungeon, Brittany here will become more powerful. What did that do? So something happens if you kill them in that ring. I'm reluctant to try it out though. My worry is that it will hurt me rather than give me a bonus. Right. That looks like he had the same idea. But yeah. Anyway, so meta progression. So as I was saying, these dungeons, I would like there to be loot. You know, a chest, and it could contain some kind of currency, and maybe the occasional weapon and item. The sacks are alright, but again, I'd want there to drop weapons as well. I'd want them to drop some kind of currency. Right, in fact, I'm just going to mute the mic. I just need to have a bit of a cough. Right. Apologies, I've just stopped to have a drink. Don't want to be coughing in your ear hole. Right. So, this must lead somewhere, surely. Is there a bag here or something, or... No. These are the issues I have. This is a perfect example. This is a ladder that leads nowhere. Right? You might have heard of the concept. It's from theatre and film. It's called Chekhov's gun. Right? If you put a... You know, this guy called Chekhov had this idea. If you put a gun centre stage on the set in a production, right? Then before the end, because it's there prominently displayed in the centre, before the end of that production, that gun must fire. Just as a general rule. Oh god, Brittany's worst enemy. Narrow gap she has to jump across. Oh, I'm stuck on the debris from that apparently. Bit of health and oh my god. Wow. Oh, and we can maybe kill someone in this middle bit. Okay, okay. See if I can find someone. Oh, I do love this view. Honestly, this might be the best looking of the maps. Like you could put, say if you went here, just took a screenshot, removed the UI, put each of the adventurers there, and then just put God's Will Fall in the top, that'd be box art. It's that good looking. Anyway, as I was saying, so the loot in dungeons, yeah. So Chekhov's gun. So this fella called Chekhov literally said, right, if you've got a gun, center stage, prominently displayed, it has to fire before the end. You can't just put that there for no reason. It has to fire. There has to be a purpose. And it's a similar thing with games. It's like, look, right, what does this do? You see, I don't know what that does. Maybe I'll stand in it properly next time. It's red, so I'm wondering if it'll give me some health if I stand in it. Yeah, so okay. I've got 1 bar of health. Let's see what we can do, eh? Come on. Get in the circle. Get in the circle. Get in the circle. It does nothing. Hang on. Right, what's his health at? He's lost 4 health. Come on. Come on. Back over here. Back here. Back here. Back here. Right, 4 health. Let's just science this out a little bit. Hopefully it can be used more than once. No, it cannot. Unfortunate. Right. There'll be others. There seems to be a fair few of them knocking about. War paint. Okay. And if we are sacrificing it might be a better idea to do it with those throwing knives. Oh, hello. Would you like to come up here, maybe? You know you want to. Go on. Ow! And it missed. Damn it. Stop dodging. Never mind then. I'm just gonna kill him. Right. But I want to stop messing about and just get my kills. With a god to slay. I don't want to be on low health when I get there. Oh, this is the fun bit, isn't it? Where you can just kind of lob a sword. Go up here, then there's normally another guy. Ooh! Right, I'm gonna have to use that because the voiceover guys. Yeah, I can't actually aim my weapon while it's talking. For whatever reason. No, I can't get up there. But anyway, so yeah. Chekhov's gun then. So that's basically the base concept of it. You know, it's like if you build up to something, you've got to do something with it. If you want a brilliant example of how not to do this concept, just watch Star Wars Last Jedi. All the things that had been built up to, those have health bars on, don't they? I've just realised that. Better still, it gives me a load of vigour. One more hit, one more hit. Yeah, there we go. I'm beginning to think he's actually a really easy boss. I think he might be one of the easier ones. Not the easiest. The easiest one's that bookworm. I'm going to come up with names with them. I might just call him, you know, the the what's it, Mothra or something. I don't know. But yeah, the bookworm, the big guy in the sort of chiseled stone library thing with all them pillars. You just kill two guys, smack him in the brain, and he's dead. That's it. He is surprisingly easy to kill. So yeah, Brittany now has bonus vigor. Will she keep the bonus strength is the big question. Okay, we've got some weapons there. Bronze twin axes. We can give them to Donald here, and that's probably it. But yeah, so that's the concept of Chekhov's gun. You build up something, you've got to have something there. And you look at that bit where there was just a ladder. It leads down. Is there anything there? No. Then why is it there? These dungeons are handcrafted, made up by design. A person has put that there. And maybe there's like a chance for there to be loot, but at the moment there's just in this run there is nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. And it just irritates the hell out of me. There needs to be loot with items, with weapons, and some kind of currency. And that's another thing. I should be able to break down my weapons and unwanted items into some kind of currency. I don't know what it would be. You know, maybe there could be some kind of vendor out here. You know, someone. And you know that you can put the law in however you want. You know, maybe the vendor is some kind of otherworldly being, and I don't trade coins. I trade like rune engraved teeth or something. You know, trying to keep it Celtic, I guess. You know, we could do something like that. But the point being that currently, yeah, I'm getting these. Ooh. She's on +3 strength now. Christ almighty. If I can get her vigor up past maybe 10, I would be fine sending her against Ogmios. Carden has got a location thing here. Ah. Fencing Civil Youngers, the Vale of Briefer and Carden. So basically, we've got so these two are lovers. We've got Oifer, Murdoch, Donald, Sheridan, Brittany, and Devona here. Now, unfortunately, no one has strength bonuses apart from Briefer, who is very quickly becoming an absolute berserker monster. Again, I'm not going to use her. I want that plus. It's on +3 now, so that means she's got a base 1 strength. So she is quickly becoming an absolute monster, and I don't want to lose that berserker bonus on an easy boss. I don't want to lose that +3 strength bonus. The problem is the -4 vigor. She's now on... oh, she gets +1 vigor for the location. Ooh. But I don't want to lose the berserker thing here. Brittany has +2 vigor, and we've got Carden here with +1. So we could send basically anyone in here, apart from Brief. I would probably say... I mean, hell, Brittany and Carden have got vigor bonuses, but Oifa here's just got a straight up 13. It's just straight up better. Base. Better. But yeah, in a perfect world, I want to get plenty of those. What is it? Is it willow bark or something it's called, or whitewood bark? The item that gives you bonus vigor, and yes, stack a bunch of it on Briefer and just lob her in against Ogmios, so that she can actually tank a hit or two without dying horribly. We're gonna go in with. We'll do another one before the end of the episode. In fact, have we got... No, that's bone meal snuff, so prevents enemy attacks interrupting your own. It's not that great. But we'll enter this dungeon here. Get one more in before the episode end. I'm wanting to try and fill episodes with a few more dungeons these days, because I'm fearing that this is going to end up being like a 40 episode series where I'm just replaying the same things over and over. So I might try to stick another run into each episode, that way we can get through it a little bit quicker overall. Ow. But yeah. Right, that's filled my health back up nicely. Can't grab the spear, can only grab the sword. Lovely. Okay. I know my way around here now. Thankfully. And if we go very carefully around here, we can do it without setting that off. This will be dangerous with two of them about. Ow! And I can't really dodge out of the way well. Now there's 3 of them, great. Gotcha. And the last one, back here. I think it might be an attack speed bonus when you do that. I think definitely a movement speed up. Might have to look up exactly what it is, because I'm a bit curious now. Ow! Dodge. Gotcha. I'm trying to dodge it, but... No, it's just... Right, let's get that health back. Get. Yeah, this one's really bugging me. I just, just get out of the water, because it's slowing me dodges down. I think that's the issue here. Come on. Yeah, it was the fact that we're in water that were doing me there. But just look at that base vigor amount. And we've found out now, since the last attempt at the final boss, if you remember, that we friendly fired ourselves with those bone rune traps and then glitched the game out. Don't use any kind of like damaging item against a boss. It barely does any damage, and worse still, because I think we used a spore cloud, didn't we, against Morrigan at one point as well. It barely does anything in terms of damage, and it just makes the area way more damaging for you. You're far more likely to just get yourself killed than the boss. This guy is really beginning to bug me. Anyway, on about the grabs I had with, so I'd like a currency like bone, bone runes or runic teeth or whatever. Because I think that's something that the Celts did. They kind of put runes on teeth and bones and string them about the place, just generally speaking. I'm dodging it and it just doesn't matter. Ugh. God, I love it when you just get an actual string of attacks in with these gauntlets. Go on, get him. Yes, there we go. Because I stayed away from using my bloodlust too quick as well. We've managed to actually get a lot of that back. Anything up here? Yes, there is. And go and attack. I hate these uninterruptible attacks that they've got. But yeah, so on about like the grabs. So as I say, I think you should be able to have a currency. You should have something to spend your old items, to do with your old items. Because again, it keeps giving me level 1 items. What am I meant to do with that? I get level 1 items by default. There is no reason to give me a level 1 item. I will never have anything that's worse than that. I will never replace what I've got for it. It's literally pointless. It may as well give me nothing. And you'd think, well, but surely you can do something with it. You can sell it or trade or something. No, there's nothing in the game about that. There's literally if you get a level 1 item, it is literally pointless to even use it. The only reason I can think of is if you have a preferred weapon type, which I'm beginning to get. But even then, there's these arbitrary restrictions on certain warriors with using certain weaponry. Come on. Gotcha. And I think Oifa here is definitely stronger than most. She can reliably grab these two-handed weapons. Most characters can't. So I think there is some things going under the hood. There are some things going on under the hood with this game. More than what you just see. But it doesn't... It definitely doesn't communicate that with you. You know, it's been that long since I've seen one of these enemies. I'd almost forgotten that they existed. Oh, get out, get out. Gas. Awful, the gas. Now, sometimes I think there can be an item down here. Not all the time, but on occasion. Anyway. Careful, careful. Oh. Every time I see them slightly jut to the side or jitter on these, it really gets me. Oh god, why? That's another thing, like, why the instant death? That's... Oh, amazing parry. Did that not hit him? Gotcha. Oh, that looks awful. Right. We do have to go that way, though. Get these items here. There's usually at least one. Sometimes more. But often it's just the one. Right. But there is one down here. Sometimes. But yeah, so the idea for like a currency or something, I think would be a good idea, and then being able to buy certain items for it. Just so that it's not giving me these useless weapons and items that I don't necessarily need in any way, shape or form. Ow. I think just dodge these. Don't try and parry or anything. Much easier to just dodge. Grab this. But yeah, the other thing though is bosses. So I'm on about loot here, and then meta progression. I think that every boss maybe not give you like some unique weapons and armor would be nice for each boss. So then you could tactically choose which boss to go for. At the beginning of the game, be like, oh, but I really want this weapon before I go against this boss. Right, I'll go against this guy first, and then this boss second to tactically get these armors and weapons and things and that sort of thing. But one thing I would definitely change, just fundamentally change about it, would be each boss, when killed, should give you a token, right? And back in the hub area, there should be like a stone circle, and each one with like some, you know, you can kind of imagine this now. You know, you're stood in like a stone circle, like how these pillars are arranged here. There'll be a few different stones with like different inscriptions on, and each one could have, say, like three stars that start shining as you spend these tokens on them that you get from killing bosses. And you know, you can put whatever fluff text you want in there from the bosses, you know, like, oh this is it's a orb of immense power, or whatever you want to call it, fluff text to describe the fact you've killed this boss and you've got this power. You know, it could literally be the actual manifestation of that boss's soul or power or whatever. This is the poison boss, isn't it? Something I want to check out as well is, do I lose my vigor permanently in this arena? Because I'm curious to know myself, really. Right. So yeah, I think that here I should basically get a token for having defeated the boss. I should get a token of some description. They're behind me, aren't they? Getting a bit too ballsy, aren't I? Knocks a bit of health off. Ow. Eat that meal. Yeah, I'm getting hit here pretty hard. I need to kill some of these. There we go. Health's back to full. Getting a few good dodges in. Not there though. And it's not letting me, not letting me war cry. I think we'll call the episode there though. Close but no cigar. And it's an issue. Another thing is you're very reliant on luck. You're very reliant on luck here, actually getting through these dungeons, because the game can just decide, you know, to just, what if we just don't give you any strength bonuses? Which it can absolutely do. The game could just, you beat a dungeon, you don't get any strength bonuses. It's a big problem. So yeah, I'd have them give you these tokens. There'd be these big set of stone pillars that you stand in, and you spend the tokens on them. And it could be things like, and each thing I would have 3 levels, and I have a few categories. And I was just thinking about this yesterday, and it'd be things like, start with +1 adventurer, so instead of 8 here, we'd have 9. Then you level it up again. Start with start with another adventurer, so it goes up to 10, and all your adventurers start with level 2 gear instead of level 1. Something like that, yeah? Start with another adventurer, so it goes up to 11, and maybe everyone gets 1 starting strength, yeah? And that'd be like the 3 levels of it, you know. Then you could have things like dungeon loot, so you've got one that at the end of each dungeon you'll receive, it could be like dungeon rewards, so at the end of each dungeon everyone receives at least 1 additional stat, so everyone gets a stat up. They could still get those negative ones and other bonuses as per normal, but everyone will get at least 1 stat up. Could be anything, you know, vigor, strength, speed, but they get 1, they get at least +1. I would then say you level that up and everyone will get +2 stats, and then you level it up again, everyone gets +1 stat, and one of them is guaranteed to be strength. Something along those lines, yeah? So maybe like everyone gets +1 stat, everyone gets +2 stats, and the person who beat the dungeon could get +3. But yeah, at the end of it, it will be everyone gets +2 stats, the person who did the dungeon gets an additional stat, and everyone gets at least one of those is at least +1 strength. Something like that, yeah? And just have these bonuses that you level up as you go. Like, you could have one that interacts with the burial grounds, yeah? Maybe, so you have one that interacts with the burial grounds and the well as well. So you could have the well do something like, at level 1, the well will gain an additional use, yeah? So, in fact, not even that. You could do level 1, you can lower and raise the bucket once in a run. So I could raise the bucket to get items from the last run, and then lower it back full of items for the next. So that's a nice bonus. Rather than just being able to do one or the other once per run, you can do both at least once. Okay, fair enough. Second level, you get an additional use of the bucket and an additional use of the bell. So you can try for 2 heroes, and you get more use of the bucket. And then the level 3 one could be, and again I'm just kind of throwing it off the top of my head here, you could change these, but yeah, you can use the bucket at will at level 3, and the bucket can be the bell can be rung twice, but the dungeons down there are easier. There's fewer elite enemies, and the traps do less damage or something. Hell, you could even maybe not allow them to get too adventurous. That might be too powerful. Maybe you just lower the trap damage down there and make the bosses weaker. Well, make the enemies a bit weaker. Even perhaps, you could give that hero some starting skills. You know, there's things you could do. And the burial mound, what if it were a case of you always got guaranteed at least 1 4-star item? And I'd trade an adventurer for a 4-star item, as well as a random selectment of other things, which you can now trade for items and other weaponry and things if you trade a bunch of them using that new currency system that I discussed. So you could put those in. In addition to that, you could have there may be additional uses of the burial mound, and then as like a final upgrade, they always take the weakest unit, you know, in overall stats, something like that. You know, it'll take the person with the least strength. If 2 have the same strength that are the weakest, it'll then take the one with the least vigor. Yeah, and then if they're both got the same on those, it'll take the one with the least, the one with no skills, or then the one with the least speed or something. So it takes the weakest party member. That could be like the final tier upgrade, so you know you're not giving anyone good up, and it's less random and you're more in control. I would also, I mean, they've obviously got loads of different items and outfits. I'd like customization for the characters. You know, it'd just be nice. If you're going to try and get us attached to these characters with these dynamic stories and things, let us customize them. The easiest way to get people attached to their characters is to let them name them and choose a hat they wear. Other than that, though, honestly, it's a bit disheartening to see, because honestly, it's a very good concept. This, I really like it, but the game suffers from like a lack of these sort of ideas in there. It feels like it's lacking a lot, but there's definitely a diamond in the rough here. You know, if it were just tweaked a bit, I reckon this could be a very good game. I don't know if they ran out of budget or anything or whatever happened, but it's unfortunate to say that you could easily make some changes here that, honestly, those aren't enormous. That's like an extra month or 2 in development, I imagine, you know. Maybe like an extra 2-3 months of development. You know, you're just adding, you know, currencies and, in fact, probably right the first time, probably a month or 2 max. That's if you're going really nuts on this stuff. You know, this could be it could just be put in as a big patch. It wouldn't take that long. You're just adding like a currency system in and a minimap, really. Then just adding in these upgrades. It's not overly crazy. But I think that just those tweaks alone would take this from, like, I think it's mixed or slightly positive reviews on Steam, but it could easily take it to being absolutely amazing, and I think they missed an opportunity when it released to have put that in. Anyway, we're going to endeavour to continue next time. We nearly beat that boss. Again, too bad no one has any bloody strength on him. That stat alone seems way too powerful to me. It seems way too powerful. But anyway, it really does seem to be, if you have additional strength you win, if you don't you lose. But anyway, we'll go back in, we'll hit up the boss again. Hopefully this time we'll do a bit better and win. And I mean, we did get right up there and nearly beat them, so I think that we're probably not that far off of just beating that boss. I think we can easily push for it. But we'll try again next time, and I'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching. And I will try. I'm going to try and just upload a few longer episodes of this because I'm wanting to kind of wrap it up now. I feel a bit guilty that we're on the third playthrough of it and we're not finished yet. I don't want to be putting out the same content overly too much. But I'll see you next time, and again, thanks for watching.